The sugar industry standoff comes to an end. And in sports, Barbados go after title number 3 from tomorrow.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom. This is the CBC Evening News. One of the longest sugar industry strikes in recent memory finally ended in the wee hours of this morning. Ryan Broom was there and filed this report.
It was around 10 minutes to 1 this morning that Labour Minister Dr. Esther Bayer-Suku concluded an agreement between the Barbados Workers Union and the Barbados Agricultural Management Company. She says there were misunderstandings between the two parties regarding the redundancy process, and they have agreed to try and resolve those issues by month end.
On the basis of this understanding, the parties agree to the immediate resumption of the crop and that there will be no victimization or recrimination on either side.
Some of the outstanding issues have been outlined and relate to the 57 workers who were made redundant,
including an effective date for separation, including the question of voluntary separation, all of which were on the table before, based on people being more than 60 years, but based on other considerations. There will be the question as well regarding the skills that are required to maintain efficiency and proper functioning at Portville.
Sir Roy also says that while the BAMC did not actually say the words "I'm sorry," the union has achieved its objective. Meanwhile, the BAMC says its priority is to salvage the crop. It says the losses already incurred are significant.
Approximately $286,000, but that is subject to further consideration of, say, cane that would have been cut by the independent farmers and were left in the field. So the losses that I'm speaking about pertain to the BAMC, not necessarily to the farmers themselves.
Ryan Broom, CBC News.
Members of the Sons of God Apostolic Church marked their first Good Friday without the presence of their late leader, Archbishop Dr. Granville Williams. As is customary, they observed the 14 stations of the cross representing Jesus' last journey en route to crucifixion. The procession started at the Zion Apostolic Church in Richmond Gap and traveled through a number of city districts. New Orleans was the first stop or station depicting where Jesus was condemned. Bishop Malcolm Babb tells CBC News this year they will place special emphasis on remembering Archbishop Williams.
As we go through the streets of Bridgetown and the surrounding areas, we'll be having small services and also some fiery preaching and drum playing and singing. This has been going on for a lot of years, and we will continue the tradition.
Roman Catholic cleric Monsignor Vincent says his prayers go out to members of the Sons of God Apostolic Church and the family of their late patriarch Archbishop Granville Williams at this time. He made the comment after observing what he described as a good turnout this morning for the Roman Catholic reenactment of the Stations of the Cross. Monsignor Vincent says it's a sign of encouragement for the Catholic faith. Scores of Catholics took the procession through the city, with onlookers taking to the street to get a glimpse. Afterwards, Roman Catholic Bishop, the Most Reverend Monsignor Jason Gordon, addressed the gathering in the car park of the St. Patrick's Roman Catholic Church, ending the procession with a short prayer. Monsignor Vincent said later he was happy with the level of participation.
It is an exercise that many people look forward to. And one of the things that I would particularly like to say this morning, how very pleased I was to see the number of young people who participated, those who were acting out the 14th Station of the Cross, and also all those who came to participate.
And during the Good Friday service at the St. James Parish Church, the view was expressed that a culture of abandonment seems to have developed in Barbados. It came from rector of the church, Reverend Beverly Seeley Knight, who is concerned about it, saying it was never in God's plan for society.
great concern today of, yes, children so readily abandoning their parents. Communities so easily forgetting and abandoning the aged. Communities abandoning those who are physically and even mentally challenged and thinking that they're just simply taking up too much time and too much space. We don't have the time for that.
Well, police are tonight making headway into investigations of a massive drug haul at St. David's Christ Church. Shane Seeley has that story.
Residents woke up this Good Friday morning to a heavy law enforcement presence with soldiers of the Barbados Defense Force loading the drugs onto trucks. This operation started before dawn, and the drugs weren't the only big discovery.
During the operation this morning, we found over 2,400 marijuana plants, tallest being about 5 feet, along with ceilings. While doing the exercises, we found skeletal remains, and we are now doing the forensics. We are yet to determine the gender, and we are yet also, obviously, we are working towards the identity of that person.
I also understand that a man is in custody assisting with investigations as far as the drug find is concerned.
Yes, at this time, at present, we are still yet to interview that person, so obviously the identity of that person will be withheld. And if there are any charges preferred, we will give you an update to that.
Shane Seeley, CBC News.
And police have since charged 35-year-old Terry Haynes of Welch Village, St. John, with possession with intent to supply, trafficking and cultivation. He will appear in court tomorrow. A scare on the compound of the popular supermarket on Spooners Hill. Manager Winston Francis tells CBC News he was making routine checks of the building this afternoon when he noticed that an air conditioning unit was burning. The unit, he explains, had malfunctioned, causing it to burst into flames. The building was not damaged.